car park yesterday when we went to explore Broadhaven South beach. Broadhaven South beach is a beautiful golden sand beach. It has views that look out to a rock formation known as Church Rock, and the car park is a National Trust car park. But unfortunately there's no overnight parking, so I went away in wild camps nearby. We've driven the van back this morning so we can park up, walk along the cliff top path which will lead to St.Govans Cove. It takes you through an area of land owned by the military. It's called Castle Martin Range. So we had to check that the land was open to the public today. The open days are really easy to find on their website. The military will also fly a red flag near the gates if the land is not open to the public. You're encouraged to stick to the paths for safety reasons, with some signs dotted around, including this one which was riddled in bullet holes just to remind us that this is military land. The occasional military sign doesn't distract from the amazing views. As you walk along the coastal path, the views are absolutely stunning out to sea, and also there's many coves dotted along the way. The walk was a little muddy and a little uneven in places, but it was quite an easy walk.
Apparently, he hid here from pirates, and if you look, you can see his ribs imprinted.
The reason for its construction is shrouded in mystery, with many variations of the story, from King Arthur, a hermit monk, variations to his name, pirates, pagans, and also lots of magical happenings. I'll share some of the mystery and the myths around this location and the chapel as I paint. St.Govans Chapel is a small one-roomed built chapel. It sits partway down a cliff and is built into the rocks. Inside St.Govans Chapel you have an altar which is said to be much older than the walls of the chapel. There's also a little well that's now dried up, a seating area, and there are doorways, one that leads out into the cove and one that leads into the stone cave. The most common version of the story is that St. Govan was an Irish monk. He was visiting the area and walking along the coast when pirates decided to chase him. He ran and he hid in the limestone rocks. The rocks closed around him to conceal him from the pirates. This left imprints of his ribs which are still seen on the rock today. Another part of the legend is St. Govans Bell. It was about a silver bell that he used to warn people when pirates were in the area. The pirates stole the bell and St. Govan prayed for its return. Angels brought the bell back and set it in stone. St. Govan could still tap the rock to ring out a warning. Govan is said to have died in 568 AD. Another myth is that he is buried under the altar where the chapel now stands. Although the stories and myths have been adapted and changed over the years to suit the audience, that has changed from visiting pilgrims to curious tourists. But it's amazing to think that this landscape and some version of a chapel in the cliff has been around for over 1,500 years and is still capturing everyone's imagination and curiosity right into the present day. As I sat here painting, I could see flocks of people coming and going. The little chapel is definitely a popular place to visit. It is in a very picturesque setting. I can see why all the myths and magical stories have grown around it. The chapel itself is believed to have been built in the 13th or 14th century, though the legends around St.Govans are much older. I found myself a little rock to sit on and look back at the chapel. I could hear the roaring sea waves crashing behind me in the cove and echoing all around me. It was a very relaxing place to sit and paint. I'd done the majority of the painting on location in watercolour, then returned to the studio to add some gouache and airbrush touches to finish off the art. Which have stood out to me today, and I really wanted to capture these in my painting. There was the blue-grey limestone rocks, the orange-red clay, and the yellow of the common gorse flower which has lined the whole wall. I wanted to use some artistic license in this picture to bring all the elements and all the colours into the finished painting.